Good evening. It's Wednesday, the 22nd of January. I'm Erin Viner, and this is IBA News broadcasting from Jerusalem. A gag order was lifted today on the discovery of a plot by a World Jihad terror cell to launch multiple mega attacks in Israel. The police and Shin Bet security service revealed that the cell was directed from Gaza and operated out of an Arab neighborhood in Jerusalem. The planned attacks included the bombing of the U.S. Embassy in Tel Aviv, the ambushing of a civilian bus between Ma'ale Adumim and Jerusalem, and a double suicide bombing at the International Convention Center in the capital. These attacks were to have been carried out by foreign terrorists who would have arrived in Israel with forged documents as being tourists. A terrorist named Abu Sar was identified as the operative who would receive foreigners once they arrived and lead them then to their targets. Another cell member, identified as Rubin Abu Nagma, has confessed to the planning the abduction of an IDF soldier from the central bus station in Jerusalem, as well as the bombing of a Jewish home in the mixed Jerusalem neighborhood of Abu Tor. The Israeli Air Force carried out a targeting in Gaza early this morning of a Palestinian responsible for multiple attacks in recent weeks, including the firing of rockets at the conclusion of the funeral for late Prime Minister Ariel Sharon. We get more in this report from Margot Dudkevich.
A Palestinian terrorist responsible for firing rockets at the end of the January 15th funeral for the late Prime Minister Ariel Sharon was killed in a targeted Israeli airstrike in Gaza early this morning. The terrorist was identified as Ahmad Zanin. Palestinian sources said a relative of Zanin, identified as Mahmoud Zanin, was also killed in the strike when a missile hit their parked car in Beit Hanun, northern Gaza. Zanin was an activist in the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine and a former member of the Islamic Jihad. The army said Zanin was responsible for numerous attacks, in addition to rockets fired at Sharon's funeral ceremony. He allegedly carried out sniper attacks, fired anti-tank missiles and detonated explosive devices near Israeli soldiers patrolling the Gaza border. Commenting on the strike, Defense Minister Moshe Ya'alon warned Israel will not hesitate to harm those who threaten its security. The Islamic Jihad vowed to avenge Zanin's death. This morning's airstrike was the second targeted killing this week. Islamic Jihad operative Ahmad Saad was critically injured on Sunday. He was hit while riding his motorcycle. Since the beginning of the month, some 20 rockets have been fired at southern Israeli communities.
Heavy